robust urban garlic flavor.
Yeah, so I know that most of you won't really be happy about it, but today we're talking about the fake show called Lolcow Live, which is basically just a bunch of you're fired, drama, fake firings, anything for drama, you know, kind of show. But for whatever reason, they decided to talk about DSP today because there's mass speculation going on about Phil and his week off that we can't really prove anything, but people are saying that, oh, he could have gotten a channel strike and then he had to not stream for a week. So that is what Lolcow Live gets into.
Hey, we got some DSP stuff that's a bit confusing.
Well, he's not wrong about that because everything DSP does is a tad confusing.
CD, stop
Can you
talking.
actually confirm DSP got a strike? Because he says you are lying and you are obsessed with him. So I'm wondering if you can show proof why FHE did.
Well, first of all, about me being obsessed with DSP, I have not spoke about DSP on this channel in such a long time that I can't remember the last time I spoke about him.
Considering how much you're drinking on stream, Keem, I don't think you remember last week's show either.
But do you guys want me to just jump right into the DSP stuff?
Before you do that, I do want to say, Phil, I'm obsessed with you. I started watching your detractor videos all the time. It is so funny when you get mad about fast food. It's so funny when you get mad about a video game. It's so funny. You are hilarious. I'm actually a fan. Also, I guess you would call me a troll because I don't really watch your content. I don't give you money. But dude, I am obsessed with you. So whenever you say anything, whenever you do anything, I'm running up the Keem.
Yeah, so allegedly it's Boogie. I mean, he has the basic stuff down, but it's like he's a known liar. And it's like if really Keem wanted to do a short segment on DSP, which I'm not really convinced about because I think if he wanted to do a segment on DSP, it would be the whole show. Or maybe, you know, they're trying to bait Phil, but like I think that this is halfway genuine. I don't know. Keem could have put Boogie up to it because, you know, Boogie is Keem's puppet.
All right, listen, somebody in the chat is saying that we're off to a boring start, so we need to get to a better start, okay?
I don't know, it may be boring, but at least it's halfway coherent compared to the normal stuff where it's like, oh, this happened in Discord. Like, who's watching this video? Like, besides the people that paid for Discord, it's like, why even watch it? There's no point. Like, what, like, you have to have so much background information to get what's going on. So, like, here, at least it's a breath of fresh air. It's like Lolcow Live is becoming DSP Lite with, like, curated content. You gotta be part of their Discord to actually get anything about what's going on these streams.
DSP unexpectedly couldn't stream last week, okay? So this is what happened with that. Let me turn the volume up.
And thank you for a great week. Again, unexpectedly last week, I couldn't stream out of nowhere. It was a bad time. All right? And
so apparently this is what started the allegations that he had a strike on his channel. All right.
Yeah, so Keem shows a 10-second clip and then has nothing to say about it. Go figure.
DSP got a strike and I'm helping him. Do you not see all the question marks? You see these question marks? Whenever you see a question mark like this, it means it's bait. It means all they're going to do on the show is they're going to talk about it. I'm looking at the wrong camera. They're going to talk about it and say, hey, did it happen? Instead of saying, hey, it happened and here's all the evidence in here. It's bait. It's a bait show. They basically have nothing to talk about tonight. So they're bringing up my name to have something to talk about. So why are they saying this?
Yeah, and you can tell from what they're doing right now, Phil, this was literally the same day that Keem baited you, knowing that you would talk about it on your Level 1 podcast, and then he has content to make on his live stream about it. Yeah, you got trolled hard there, Phil.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. He's right.
He's right.
He's right.
The reason we're talking about this is because I wanted to, Phil. I was so excited to discuss you. And if you're in the right, we'll defend you. And if you're in the wrong, we'll talk to you. And that's how it'll be. And in fact, the more you complain about it, the more I want to do it.
Yeah, but here's the problem, Boogster. You literally pick the one where it's just random mass speculation, which I think is kind of what you and Keem want to do because you don't actually want to analyze anything. You just want to throw crazy theories out in the open to get clicks on your videos. That's just my thought because there's a trillion things you can complain about Phil doing or criticize, but you chose the one where there's open ends because you want to make a big deal out of this because you're hoping that Phil will take the bait and then reveal what he was doing that week.
There must be a reason that this happened. Like, I mean, Keem wouldn't be talking about it if there was nothing to it.
Okay. I was going to do a bit. Officer Phil, you got us, but...
Oh, sorry, boss.
Yeah, that's what happens when your co-hosts are a brain-dead sycophant and a guy you picked up at the bus stop. You don't get good stuff going on.
Like, what brought this on? Does anyone know?
Oh
Like,
my
why-
God. Wait. Hold on. The bait's working. The bait is working. Boogie, you heard what he said. What brought this on? Does anybody know? It's working. It's working.
It's working.
Yo, type 1 in the chat if anybody is interested to know what brought this on. I think the
Look
bait.
at all those fish.
I think the bait is working.
Are they saying that?
Wow, congratulations, Keem. You baited Phil. It's not that hard to do. And like even on your stream, Phil has dead air and you don't even fill it. Come on, lazy.
Doody Streams says I have a channel strike. Well, we all know that everything that Doody Streams says is 100% factually confirmed and true. There's never been an instance ever where Doody Streams has done something that's false or said something that was untrue about. But do you see my point? My point is thus, I said this weeks ago and I'll say it again.
Somebody in Phil's chat said Keemstar has integrity. He wouldn't do that.
It's cute that you think that.
Yeah, well, that is Phil's viewership if that person was actually serious and not being a LARPer. If it was a LARPer, it was funny, but if it's not, it's like, Phil, look at what you got there.
That's awesome. Thank you to whoever was in DSP's chat sticking up for me.
Well, here's the reality. More likely, they were trying to convince Phil that you were trustworthy so he would invite you on for another show.
Here's the deal, okay? With the community strike. Do I know if Phil has a community strike or not? No. Am I helping Phil with a community strike? No. So then what is this all about?
You all wanted to fill 15 minutes of your show and you thought, hey, let's bait Phil today. Let's see what can happen out of this. In the hope of that we can have more content out of Phil in the future, because even if he's not on the show, we're going to milk him for views anyway. Which is actually a lot more preferable to having Phil on the stream, because he would be a dead fish. Like, if you think the people that they find off the bus station stops are bad, Phil's like 10 times worse.
It happened a couple days ago, back on July 25th. On Twitter, this went viral. DSP claims he knows nothing about this. Any truth to any of this? I'm not watching Lolcow live, sorry. All right. A person named Browser World said Keem said on Lolcow live he's going to help you with the community guidelines strike. He will address it and get it resolved. I did not say that. I didn't say any of that. I don't know what's going on in DSP land. I don't know if he's got a strike or if he doesn't have a strike. I haven't talked to DSP in months. I don't know what any. All of a sudden, on the 25th, which was 3 days ago, our people started coming into our Discord, asking me about it. Everyone's asking me about it on Twitter. I don't know where this rumor started. I have no involvement.
Yeah, so as we try to figure out what's going on, who is the king of spinning rumors and talking about drama? So who knows if really Keem behind the scenes was actually pulling some strings and this is like some master plan or just fell into his lap. But like, yeah, I can kind of buy that some random person would go into DSP's stream just to be funny, and then it just blows into something like this because, you know, the Lolcow live crew, they have like this whole Discord or something, and there's like people in it, and it's just like talking about like drama about the shows that's all fabricated. So yeah, I can buy that they want a day off or something from that. And I'm like a little bit confused. Boogie says that he wanted to talk about this, but Boogie's not doing most of the talking. It's Keemstar. So that kind of leads me to believe that this was Keemstar's idea to do this segment, and Boogie is just the shield because he's Keemstar's lapdog these days. Or I really don't know, because I don't really watch these mostly at all. I just see the Browski videos. But does Keem just dominate every conversation because Boogie and CD-ROM are just boring?
None.
I will say that if you did get a strike, Keem would help you. That's a no-brainer. He's a good guy.
Okay, Boogie, just keep being the bootlicker that you've turned into right now. There will come a day when Keemstar will kick you to the curb and you will have nobody to turn to.
I believe
and
that.
then I'll also say that you suddenly couldn't stream. What kind of emergencies happen in the DSP world? Does Cat need to go to a buffet? Like, what's happening? What?
Ah, yes, the morbidly obese man making fun of a morbidly obese woman. Great, Boogie, pot calling the kettle black. Obviously, if there was an emergency in Brunelloville, it had to relate to his family, probably the ones in Connecticut.
No, knowing DSP, the emergency could have been I got locked out of my WWE Champions account again.
All right, I'll give the guy that got picked up off the bus station credit. He can have some good one-liners thrown in, but he's kind of like the fourth guy that you would have on the stream, not the third co-host.
That could be it.
DSP and Becky actually talk. I don't know if people know that. But
Oh,
they,
jeez.
oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, they talk. Because Becky was trying to, when she worked here, was trying to get DSP to go on Queens. And then when she went off to go do her own thing, she was talking to DSP, trying to work something out. Like, they talk. They legitimately talk. I know it's a small world, but they do.
Yeah, so now you may be wondering, who is Becky Boop? Just some random person that Review Tech USA had like internet connection or whatever, and she said that she was his like fiance or some stuff like that, even though they met like I think 1 to 3 times. And she basically got on to the Lolcow universe because she exposed Review Tech USA or something. Yeah, and then Keemstar's like, oh, she's crazy. That means views. And he kept her on until the bitter end, until he really couldn't anymore. And then he just fired her, which was to the surprise of absolutely nobody that it would happen with a messy end. He also shaved her head. So basically, she's another person that Keem found off the bus station stop. Yeah, apparently she thought she was going to become famous from working with Keemstar of all people. It never works out like that. Yeah, I guess Phil sees Becky as the fallback in case Kat decides to divorce him or something. But in all seriousness, what Keem is saying, I can confirm the first part where they have talked. Like, DSP accidentally exposed his Discord, and Becky Boop was one of the people he was messaging. Now, about that context of whether DSP was being interviewed or asked to go on Lolcow Queens or whatever, or Becky's new show, I have no idea. For all we know, they were just spending their time talking smack about Review Tech USA, but who knows what they're talking about. All we know of, it hasn't led to anything where DSP has did some collaborations with other people. I'm kind of skeptical that Becky Boop approached Phil to go on her own thing. Like, why would Phil want to go at that point? But, you know, Phil can be convinced to do pretty much anything. So, I mean, take your shot, go for it. Or, you know, Keemstar may just be fanning the flames to get Phil to say something today.
But here's the thing. I have an open line of communication with DSP, and he does DM me on Twitter from time to time, but I just haven't talked to him in months. I don't know where this rumor started, where he got a strike and I'm helping him with the strike. I haven't talked to DSP.
Well, yeah, don't worry about that, Keemstar. Nobody really talks to DSP. DSP just talks to them, you know, when he's texting them at like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning because he is apparently a very busy man and somehow has time to stay up all night and give you DMs on Twitter.
God, I cannot imagine a world where him and Becky talk about anything ever. Jesus Christ.
What would they possibly have to talk about?
All right, I can fill that in for you, Bus Stop Man. They both don't like Review Tech USA.
I have a lot of things to say on that, but I won't. I have a lot of opinions, but I won't. Okay.
Yeah, but who really knows what 2 crazy people will get up to in a Discord DM chat? Like, Phil is a shut-in and Becky is a hoarder. Perfect combination. Yeah, so basically they talk about it for like a grand total of not even 10 minutes. But guess what? On Phil's podcast, he has a whole segment about it. Because, you know, Phil is going to take this bait, and I'm sure this is going to be a reoccurring thing. Because Phil can't help himself. He will dive unknowingly, unwittingly, headfirst straight into the drama all the time.
And then I guess we'll address this, whatever it is. I don't even know. We'll get the full story of people bringing up my name. People invoking the name of the king. What happens is sometimes things get slow. Things in life get boring. And when that happens, you must invoke the name of the King DSP, because then somehow people pay attention to you. Don't ask me why or how, but it seems like this happens from time to time. So I guess we'll talk about it, because I don't even know what's going on. I'd like to hear it from you guys. All right?
Yeah, for once, Phil is in the right. He knows that Keem is talking about him only because Keem doesn't really have much else to talk about, and he's like, okay, let's talk about Phil. But here is where Phil kind of loses the plot. He just dives headfirst. He wants to know what's exactly going on. No, that's exactly what Keemstar wants you to do. The gnome wants to milk you for content, Phil. You are a cow, a lolcow, whether you want to be or not. Because you should have just ignored it. Like, I hear from you all the time that you don't want to talk about the drama. This is literally talking about drama.
I guess now, do you want to talk about this thing that I know nothing about? So how about this, guys? You guys tell me what's going on, because a few days ago in chat, I saw people saying something about me having a strike on my channel. Like, people were saying, you have a strike. We know about the strike. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not on strike. And then people were like, no, it's a strike on your channel. And I was like, huh? And I just ignored it because I don't know what I'm talking about. And now you guys are saying that there's something going on with someone saying that I have a strike. And I want to hear from you guys because you know better than me. I don't know what's going on. Okay? So as people, I'm sure people will explain in a moment. Really? Okay, let's take a look. I don't know anything about this. This is interesting. This is all news to me. I don't know anything about this. You said it's Keemstar's Twitter. It's not Lolcow Live's Twitter. It's Keemstar's Twitter. Let's see. There's nothing on his Twitter. It's Lolcow Live's Twitter, okay? It's nonsense. Do you guys not understand, like, bait content?
Dude, they watch you unironically, Phil. They don't. And people who are probably watching you as LARPers are like, okay, let's just get Phil to look at this so he'll talk about it, because we know he will. He'll take the bait all the time.
Seriously, do you not understand bait content? Here we go. Ready? What's hilarious is I don't think I can even make that face. Let's see. You can tell this is an AI thumbnail. Here we go. Can I even make that face? How do I...
Oh my god, he's actually trying to do that. I guess that will be the thumbnail if I can get it up-resed enough. Maybe multiple thumbnails.
I don't think my mouth opens that much. It's obvious AI thumbnail, right? So, DSP got a strike and I'm helping him. Do you not see all the question marks? You see these question marks? Whenever you see a question mark like this, it means it's bait. It means all they're going to do on the show is they're going to talk about it. I'm looking at the wrong camera. They're going to talk about it and say, hey, did it happen? Instead of saying, hey, it happened and here's all the evidence. And here, it's bait. It's a bait show. They basically have nothing to talk about tonight. So they're bringing up my name to have something to talk about.
Yeah, and I already spoiled it for y'all, even though chronologically this Phil clip happened first before Lolcow Live, because yeah, it's just bait. And Phil is falling for the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. Like most of what Lolcow Live, that whole like universe, if you want to call it that, is literally scripted and bait content. And it's like you have to pay into their Discord to get any mileage out of it, because otherwise you don't know what is going on. It's like all these random characters that you've never heard from before that apparently have their own exciting lore that really is dry as dirt.
So why are they saying this? Like what brought this on? Does anyone know? Like, why are they saying that?
Yeah, look as Phil scanned through his chat, dead air, blah, blah, blah. He is trying to understand what is going on, what is happening, why is he getting pulled into this vortex all the time.
Doody Streams says I have a channel strike. Well, we all know that everything that Doody Streams says is 100% factually confirmed and true.
I guess Doody Streams is going to keep popping off these theories until Phil addresses something, because he thinks that, hey, if I keep talking about it, Phil will end up talking about it too. Eventually, what I think will happen is that Phil will spill the beans about what happened on his week off, and it will be entirely unprompted. He'll just like let it slip one day because he's Phil. I don't know, but maybe Keemstar heard about his week off, and he's like, hey, maybe this is another Boogie fake answer situation, and I can exploit it.
There's never been an instance ever where Doody Streams has done something that's false or said something that was untrue about me. Never. Doody has never lied or exaggerated or extrapolated or made something up for personal gain and views. Never.
I mean, when you put up 6 videos about Phil a day, I mean, I can't really argue with that.
But do you see my point? My point is thus, I said this weeks ago, and I'll say it again.
Yeah, he's gonna keep talking about the snortex thing.
This weird vortex revolves around me. I don't create the vortex. I don't control the vortex. I want nothing to do with the vortex. I've disavowed it, right? I want nothing to do with any of this nonsense. But they leech daily off of me. Okay? Every single day. They need me. Without me, there's nothing going on. They have no content. They have no lives. They have no personalities. They have to just basically every day make content out of me. So when I was gone for a week, it was like, oh my God, I'm in the middle of the Sahara and I'm so thirsty and I'm looking everywhere and I can't find a drop of water anywhere. I'm so dehydrated, right? So what it is now is I come back and now all of a sudden it's like, well, now we have to try to hyper focus on this, even though this was almost a month ago now, right? We've already moved on. I'm already back 2-3 weeks. Already kept making great content. Things are great, right? But they're still like hanging on this nonsense that Phil was gone for a week. So what was it? What was the reason? You'll never know.
Yet, Phil, you can't help but run your mouth about this. You make it like this big secret, and you were literally like taunting them to figure it out. You're just poking the bear, Phil. This is a bad idea if you want to keep what you were doing under wraps and it was actually something that was serious and private. But you won't, and Keemstar knows that. So don't you think he's gonna try and weasel his way into the snortex?
Because I'm never going to tell you. If one day I so choose to tell you about my personal life and things going on in it that aren't part of all of this, then you'll know. Otherwise, you'll never know. And that's my prerogative, to have a private life. I have the ability to do that. And you should respect that. If you don't, you're an obsessed, freakish, mentally broken weirdo who should be committed. Or at very least, seek professional help because you're a danger to yourself and society around you.
Okay, Phil, that response will definitely get people to suddenly stop and reevaluate themselves. No, they're literally just gonna start digging and prying in deeper, Phil. You are digging a hole for yourself.
Okay? It's that simple. If you're hyper-fixated and hyper-focused on someone, and you just want to know everything about them?
Phil, they don't want to know everything about you. The reason that they are wondering why is because you have such a rigid schedule where you never disappear for a week at a time. And they are curious because there is an online phenomenon about you. Go watch Frederick Knudsen's Down from the Rabbit Hole if you want an idea about it again, but people are very interested in what you are doing. That's why there are just restreams of you that have cumulatively thousands of views.
Then you're messed up. That's obsession, and that's not normal behavior. Now, there's some people who want that because they get content out of it. If I obsess about Phil, every piece of content I make about him gets views from weirdos, and then I make money, right? It's just messed up. Like I said, I really do feel like it's grifting today. It's not like it used to be. There actually used to be legit, like, obsessed people. Now it's just obsession. Crazy obsession. All right?
Dude, you're using the same word, so your meaning isn't getting across here.
Anyway, so in regards to all of this, what's happening is people are trying to figure out, I guess, why I was gone for the week, even though it's none of anyone's business, and I already told you guys you're not going to hear the answer.
Yeah, and I'm stupidly going to keep talking about this even though I want to keep it under wraps. And instead of doing like 10 minutes of research to try and figure out what's going on behind the scenes, I literally put it in front of my audience and make a big deal out of it.
There's absolutely nothing going on in any of this regard whatsoever. Okay, nothing. So everything these people are saying is completely falsified and fake and nonsense. Lolcow Live is baiting. There's a bunch of question marks. because they actually don't know anything, and all they're going to do is sit there, and they're going to talk about, does Phil have a strike? Why do people think he has a strike? Well, let's watch this guy who said it, and let's watch that guy who said it. Now, if he has a strike, what does that mean? How does that affect his channel? How could something be helped? Could we help him if he had a strike? Could he reach out to us? Could we reach out to him? It's going to be a fluff episode of nothing.
Well, actually, this is the head scratcher part of it. The main meat of their live stream, for what I understand, was talking about Becky. So why they put you on the thumbnail is a question that is making me think a little, because I think they are trying to pull you into this stuff. Because their live stream, they talked about you for like 10 minutes at most, and they didn't offer anything substantial, obviously. So I think they are trying to pull, they being Keemstar, because let's be real, Boogie can't do anything. Keemstar is trying to pull you into his Lolcow universe regardless of whether you want to be part of it or not.
It's going to be a fluff episode of nothing, right? There's nothing there. There's no substance to it because they don't know anything.
Yeah, I expected a lot more speculation, but I guess from what my understanding is that they are not really have done any research at all or effort into looking into you, so they don't know the context yet. So this is probably just a feeler for something bigger down the line.
They don't know if I have a strike. They don't know. Yeah, they know nothing. How would they know, right? And the thing is, Keemstar has access to talk to me whenever he wants. He can message me, I can message him. We have a direct line of contact.
Yeah, Phil, but that's not fun. That doesn't get views. Like, hey, I messaged Phil, and guess what? He told me he doesn't have a community strike. Wow, nice content you got there on Lolcow Live, Keemstar.
It's not like it used to be where we were hard to reach each other and we were with each other, acting like we couldn't reach each other.
One, stop digging into your ear while you're live, or at least when you're on camera. Two, it wasn't Keemstar, it was you, because you're like, send me an email.
No, if we have something to talk about, we can talk to each other right now. He didn't reach out to me. So obviously, this isn't anything I even need to be involved in. This is just a bait episode. Okay, really, it's a 100% a bait episode. Which is fine, let them do it. I don't care. I'm not involved in it.
For now, you aren't, but if you keep talking about this, you will be pulled into it.
But I don't know. None of this is true. None of it whatsoever. There's, no, there's no strike. No, I'm not involved in any kind of problems on YouTube whatsoever. We're talking about anyone about getting anything fixed. Nothing. There's nothing going on. I don't know where people are getting this nonsense from. Because again, it's just wild speculation based on the fact that people are obsessed with me.
Yeah, they don't have much to go on, so they're going to put their tinfoil hats on and start the conspiracy theories in hopes that they somehow get you to stumble so you will release what really happened. Like, Phil doesn't understand how ironically popular he is. Like, to some people, he's basically a celebrity. Like, they would be digging through your garbage if they could, Phil.
And anyone else who's a creator can take a week off and no one really cares, especially because I was back as soon as I could be back. It wasn't like I took a month off unannounced and everyone was missing me and like now Phil's not making content anymore. I was gone for a week. I came back. I've been making my content regularly again.
Well, yeah, Phil, but that is the double-edged sword of being terminally online. You stream 12 times a week, 6 days a week, in a very rigid form. So when you deviate from that, people are going to have questions.
With no problems whatsoever, right? So why is anyone still talking about this? How is it even anyone's business? It's not. But the people who obsess on it, I'm not even talking about it anymore, right? Like, we've moved on. But these weirdos can't let it go because this is content for them, right?
Well, the thing is, it becomes content when you keep talking about it and bringing it up. It doesn't matter what Doody Streams says. If you bring it up, it becomes content. Like you are doing right now. You unwittingly walked into the bear trap once again. Like everybody knows you do. You always take the bait.
They're nuts. So they need to know. No, you don't. You don't need to know. And you're never going to know. You can make up as much as you want. You're not going to know. That's too bad. Excuse me.
Dude, a lot of people are going to take that as a challenge and they're going to try and figure out. They're going to poke you and prod until they figure out what really went on, even if it's something that doesn't relate to the online business at all. So let me break down, in my opinion, what I think is actually happening here. Since Wings basically body slammed his wife and was kicked off the show, Keemstar and Lolcow Live have been flailing to replace him and try and figure out something, because Wings was the heart of the show. Without Wings, the show is directionless and kind of not funny at all. So he's been cycling through co-hosts, and Keem is looking at DSP and he's like, this guy's on fire right now. He's going viral, he's the game journalist, and he's not taking advantage of it. So why don't I take advantage of the exposure that Phil is getting? Because he knows, I'm sure he sees Raw Phil and there's like 1,000 people in the chat just talking about Phil. So he's like, oh, there's a lot of money there to be had. So what he's going to do is he's going to bait Phil and try to draw him in onto Lolcow Live. Now here's the thing, he knows DSP is never going to go on his show, and two, he doesn't want DSP on his show because DSP is boring as a dead fish, and you can't make fun of Phil when he's on Lolcow Live, because Phil won't take it, he'll just log right off. So he sees this, he just fired Becky, who was his second major cash cow, so he's like, well, how do I keep this thing going? How do I keep my, like, Cold War with Becky going on? Well, I'll throw Phil in the middle of it. And maybe I can act in a way that either gets Phil to keep talking about Lolcow Live or gets Phil to collaborate with Becky. Because either way, I have content to make and I will benefit from it. That's the direction that I think Keemstar is going. I think he is going to milk Phil for all the content that he is worth. Because remember, he initially wanted a show of DSP, Wings, and Boogie. And that fell through because Phil wanted to do things his own way. He didn't want to be bossed around like Keemstar, obviously, like Boogie is. Like, can you see Phil being in the same position that Boogie is in right now? No, absolutely not. So, Phil is going to be like the unofficial mascot of Lolcow Live from now on, because Keem doesn't have any other idea of how to keep this show afloat besides bringing in the other Lolcow because Wings is not coming back.
What are you trying to get clipped? DSP? Chill out.
Guys, if we can raise $47 more, I will eat Wendy's for you.
Let's just do it right now and just stop this nonsense immediately. This insane game of suspense. We don't have time. I have to go.